Hey everyone. So, today we're finally doing the Higurashi Minagoroshi post-chapter discussion. Man, it's been a long time coming. By that I mean it's been a week in the making. Sort of. Anyway, as usual, I'm going to be joined by Billy and Aru, who are going to join us in a little bit when I get in the call with them. But yeah, today we're doing the post-chapter discussion. I've been kind of waiting for this so I could actually start chapter 8. Because my god, chapter 7 ended quite crazily, as we got to see the eugenics and everything else that happened at the end of it. Anyway, this post-chapter discussion should not take too long, I hope. I am super exhausted, but I will try to make it through. It's like in preparation for the upcoming 24-hour stream attempt for Super Robot Wars Y. We'll see how that ends up going. But anyway, let me hop on the call with them. We'll get some background music going as well, as usual. We'll have some PC98 stuff playing, and then we'll go from there. Let me just actually get the right song going before I forget, and then we'll actually swap it over to it. So 1 second. I think it was near the bottom here. Yeah, here it is. Okay, and I just gotta. There we go. Cool. All right, so let me go ahead and join them. And there we go.
Good evening.
Place town ain't big enough for the three of us.
Hey everyone. Alright, so this is Billy and Aru. They've been joining me for the past few post-chapter discussions. Billy mainly for all of them, actually. So, it's different. But yeah. We're finally covering chapter 7. What a fucking chapter this was.
It's the chapter that starts out and ends the strongest, I feel, because it's so crazy.
It is super insane. Oh. There we go.
I didn't actually press a recap or anything yet.
That's fine.
Let's see.
Currently editing this, which I probably should have done a while ago. There we go. So now we've got the Minagoroshi text scrolling, and then also this. There we go. Now we're 100% ready to begin. All right. God. So one thing I was considering doing was going over my theories from chapter 1 all the way up until now. Although I'm not sure if I should wait until after we cover like the summaries or whatever. The quick recap.
I think the recap is better served after every single thought, since this chapter just kind of reveals everything. So going over what we thought before to what actually happened might be a better flow there.
Okay, then yeah.
I would say recap your theories or your thoughts up to this point.
Yeah, then let's go ahead and do that then. Because one thing that has been mentioned quite a few times throughout the playthrough itself, throughout the chapters themselves, has been this notion that Ryukishi wants you to, if possible, get with other people that are also playing through this game, or others that might have read the chapter that you're already reading, and try to bounce ideas and theories off of them and see where this takes you. So you can kind of get a general idea of what the hell's going on, or kind of talk to people, because that's one of the major aspects of the Higurashi franchise, which is why I'm glad that we've been doing this, as it's been quite something, like just thinking about things. And I'm sure like you guys, especially you, Billy, but at the very start, just hearing my thoughts on this and being like, oh man, I had something similar, or I thought something similar, possibly. I assume you might have thought something similar to that at some point. Or, oh man, he's thinking this, okay, he's on the right track. But then, like, I kind of, like, skimmed over my original theories from the very beginning, and man, they're they're super out there. So the only ones that I did find from like the little notepad file that I had were for chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. The one for chapter 7 is in our group chat, but I mean I can read that up in a bit. So my theories for chapter 1. Oh boy. So I had 4 major theories. And this all depends on the type or visual novel / world this is. It could be one where things like curses exist, and if they do, then it's the curse, and if they don't, then it's something else. So my first theory, way back in Onikakushi, was Keiichi was murdered by the villagers. After they raided his home, tampered with the note, they chased him down to the booth, injected him and killed him. Injected him and he killed himself. This could also be fake, as a coroner would have found him injected with something somewhere in his body. There would be a hole made by the needle, and this is not overlooked easily by forensic scientists, which is something that I was still kind of like pretty big on, where, you know, there's no way a forensic scientist would have missed him being injected by something. So number 2, the curse is real, but the curse isn't a curse, quote unquote. It's more like the people in the village have multiple personality disorder or something similar, which causes them to, quote unquote, act out. Number 3, Keiichi was hallucinating the whole thing and is paranoid due to hearing of the events. Everything is a coincidence. Rena and Neon really were gonna get a doctor and send him to a mental institute. That's what Demon Dawei actually means. And then we have theory 4. Keiichi can time travel and is stuck in a Groundhog Day scenario. Anytime he stops time like Dio, it's him making a new choice, trying not to get caught or do something wrong like in the past scenarios. He can somehow warn his past self, and the rest of the game is him trying to figure things out as he goes back in time. So I was incredibly fucking close with that final theory. I was just looking at the wrong character, but that's because everything that happens in Onikakushi is done through Keiichi's perspective. So obviously I wouldn't have known it was like Rena in this case, or Rika or anyone else. I would have just assumed it would have been Keiichi.
So, well, yeah, because he's the protagonist, right? It's the first person.
Yeah, exactly.
He's our guy.
Yeah. Like, I have not seen the covers to any of the other games. I have no idea if anything else happens. So, this being my first exposure to Higurashi, it's quite interesting, because again, it's your first dive into the series. You have no idea where the fuck this is gonna go. For all you know, it is all curses. For all you know, it's all just people acting out. For all you know, it's a murder mystery novel. For all you know, it's not going to be a Groundhog Day scenario. Who knows? Maybe it's going to show me all the intermittent parts that happened, you know, in between the days that we weren't shown. We only saw like a week or something of Keiichi's life from different points of view. Sorry, no, from specific days. Because we don't cover. It wasn't like, if I recall, Onikakushi wasn't like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think it was literally like, it's now Monday, it is now Wednesday, or some shit like that. I don't remember, unless it really was a whole week. It's actually been, let me double check, hold on. I think it's been exactly 1 year since I actually started Higurashi as a whole, as a franchise. Let me double check, when did I upload the first part on YouTube? It wasn't that long ago. Oh man, Himatsubishi. God damn, I completely forgot about that.
While you're looking that up, I wanna say that like I was really impressed that you got certain details right away. In your theories. Like obviously like none of them were really right, but you had a lot of the key details, like about the looping and about the paranoia, and there are things that are like hinted at very subtly to like new readers in the first chapter, but you picked up on those things pretty well.
Thank you. Okay, we started, at least the first part was uploaded on September 4th, 2024. So in a month, it'll be on a Thursday. So on a day that we will stream Higurashi, it'll be the 1 year anniversary of me doing Higurashi, like as a series, which is fucking crazy. But yeah, even I was kind of surprised, like rereading this, like, oh yeah, I can't believe I was able to kind of deduce that, yeah, there's like some kind of like time travel thing that's like probably gonna go the time travel route of some kind, and then it just happened. So that was my theories for chapter 1. For chapter 2, it's more of like just a few cliff notes. So it's like Keiichi dies in the torture room. Mion is part of the Yakuza. Keiichi killing her resulted in his immediate execution in chapter 1. The Sonozaki family is producing psychoactive drugs, possibly making zombies, or they're trying to scare the other families into leaving town. Keiichi hallucinated the stabbing using a cleaver/knife to slice his stomach open on his own while going out to see the quote-unquote ghost of Mion before collapsing. I don't think they said they found his body outside of his home, so he could have walked to his kitchen, done it, causing a ruckus as he collapsed, and his parents were able to get him to the hospital in time. This is another timeline. Keiichi can still time travel, and the characters that were involved in this one came from the other. The Takano that went missing in the first chapter is the Takano that was found strangled, and the one that was burned in the mountains is the one from this dimension being punished. Shion existed in chapter 1, and she killed Keiichi for robbing her of the chance to kill Mion in chapter 1. Keiichi dies at the end of chapter 2, quote unquote, starting a new loop for chapter 3. Hinamizawa is basically Silent Hill, and Keiichi is being forced to relive things in a loop, like James, to atone for angering Oyashiro-sama, or for lying as he did both to Rena and others, and to Mion in chapter 2. So, this one was kind of weird. This is, again, just more exposure to what it's like to like read a Higurashi novel, and yeah, I don't think it was like closer to figuring out the mystery from chapter 2. But I do like that I went with the Silent Hill route, where that's still kind of what's going on, sort of, to some extent. But again, with Rika, not with Keiichi.
Yeah, you could almost, and we'll get into like the full explanations later. You could almost call the different versions, like the different fragments, her other side or other world or whatever. But it's interesting. These were some of the most amusing theories because this was when like you really don't know anything, and the game is like kind of teasing you a little bit about it, and so like I think everyone has these like crazy out there theories.
Yeah, I mean, I could have had like more normal quote unquote theories, but I was like, nah, let's go all out. And if I were to like just be really crazy about it, like what could this game be all about? So I gave some like slightly rational ones, and then some that were like super out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people with just really crackhead theories. I definitely had some of my own. Billy can attest to that.
Oh, I can. For sure, and Nadia can attest. She's not here right now, but she could definitely attest to mine because I was sending them to her.
Keiichi and the gang are actually all fish swimming in a fishbowl, but they were all imagining this. This is like that God, what's the name of that Asian like philosopher? Hold on.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. God, I was just talking about him recently too. Huangzi?
Yeah, Huangzi. Who's famously quoted for "Once upon a time, I dreamt I was a butterfly," which is, you know, a great motif of Persona 1, one of the best RPGs out there made in the Persona franchise. As a matter of fact, it's the second best in the whole franchise. But it's like, what if? Like all of Keiichi and his friends are all just like fish swimming in a fishbowl, imagining what it would be like to live in a town in the Japanese mountains while they're inside of like Petco.
Could be true.
It could be. And whoever the hell was like speaking at the end of like chapter 7, who was like, "Oh, is Rika gonna survive this time? I don't know. We can watch it play out." For all we know, that's like a potential like shopper, you know, like looking at all the fish. Anyway, I can only imagine what I was gonna mention a theory like that, but I thought, you know what, that's gonna be way too fucking stupid. Let me try to be a little bit more serious about it.
Whenever someone dies, it's that they get bought at the pet store.
They get replaced by a new fish. That's why they forget all their memories. Alright, so for chapter 3, I have the Watanagashi Festival is a trigger that changes / warps time / dimensions. All question arcs are linked. The events all happen, and we're only shown what occurs on certain days, but not all the days during the summer months. So this is where I thought that, like, if you have the entire month of, let's say, June, like, chapter 1 only shows us what happens on, like, the 1st day, the 7th day, the 13th day, the 15th day, the 27th, and, like, the 30th or something. Like, that's what I was thinking. What I didn't piece together until pretty late into this was that it all actually happens within the span of a week. And it's usually the week before the Watanagashi and then a few days after the Watanagashi. Keiichi hallucinates a lot. He actually went to the festival and just fantasized about killing Satoko's uncle during the events. And the last one, Oyashiro-sama's curse is real. It allowed Keiichi to have split personality / body. It possessed someone else to perform the killing or be at the festival, while the other body was busy, resulting in the survival after asking for everyone to end, as he was now the new vessel to carry on his will, ? Takano was possessed by Yashiro-sama to relocate the body. That was it for chapter 3. And for all of these, only the Watanagashi Festival is a trigger that changes. That's pretty accurate. And then that all question arcs are linked, that's also accurate, but not correct, in the sense that, like, yeah, the Watanagashi is a huge trigger where, like, if shit fails here, 1 or 2 days later it's over. They gotta restart. But yeah, for chapter 3, this one was a weird one. I didn't have, like, any, like, super solid or, like, major updates to my theories.
Yeah, there's not a with chapter 3, it's like the really big stinger at the end is the whole thing with Keiichi, and it's just like you get so little information to go off of that, like, basically anything is conjecture at that point.
Yeah, especially because the only
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The only major, like, change here besides Satoko's uncle being in the picture is just the Great Hinamizawa disaster, which is just like a curveball that comes out of nowhere, and at that point you're just left with more questions.
So this was actually, I remember messaging Nadia about this, where I was like, the government worked way too fast. There's no way that the government is not involved with this, and that has something to do with Keiichi dying. And she told me later, after I had finished the story, that she was like, I had to hold my tongue so bad.
That was something that crossed my mind as well, because I was like, Keiichi wakes up when he talks to the agents, the JDF agents. He's like, "What day is it?" And they're like, "You know, it's this date. What time is it? It's this time." He's like, I think I've been asleep for like 17 hours. And they're like, "How the fuck did you survive?" When I read that, I was like, there is no way the government would work this fast to clean up all these bodies, because they had truckloads of them.
Yep.
And like, that was also going through my mind, but I was like, nah, I won't bring it up. I don't remember if I did bring it up during the post-chapter discussion for chapter 3. But if I did...
I didn't. I was trying to hold my tongue on that too.
Yeah.
Something that's always been and always will be universal is government inefficiency.
Right.
Well, and especially too, like with Hinamizawa in particular, they don't even really have a police force. They have to rely on the next town over for policing. So it's like, if they can barely get one guy from the next town over to come and help with murders, what makes you think that the government's going to step in, you know, and fix a big problem like this?
Yeah.
They're not. They're not. It's just it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and the JDF of all things, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
So with chapter 4, let's see. Oyashiro-sama is real, meaning the curse is real, which means Keiichi wasn't hallucinating, and things like time travel are possible. All of those statements are correct. They are all 100% correct. but not from the way I was thinking at that time. That's theory 1. Theory 2 was Oyashiro-sama isn't real, that Rika heard about all those events in the meetings, or she overheard things and she was able to put 2 and 2 together. So this is me thinking that like everything that would happen in the town was just a coincidence, that Rika would just so happen to also be involved in a meeting where all of this was discussed. Asakusa is a multi-dimensional time traveler, and in his universe, Oyashiro-sama is real and the curse is real, but Keiichi Prime is part of the one where it's not. I don't remember where the fuck I was going with that.
Keiichi Prime.
Yeah, like the original Keiichi.
Yeah.
The curse is real, to some extent. There is some underground section / area in the village where people are sacrificed, and we haven't been shown this. There's probably some typical evil temple trademark where there is some connection to the underworld and the like, and some party we haven't been shown. Hell, maybe the feds were getting too close to the town by the 80s, so they killed everyone with the gas attack triggering it. I remember when I mentioned this, you immediately fucking muted your mic. The second I said maybe the feds were getting too close, you fucking muted your mic immediately. And I knew, holy shit, that's gotta mean something. And the last one was Rika's the only one in the Groundhog Day scenario where she's the one who's constantly dying. And that one also resulted in you muting yourself immediately. So those for sure. I was pretty close to this with the first statement of Oyashiro-sama being real, the feds being involved, and Rika being in the Groundhog Day scenario. So by this point, I basically had the theory down. I just needed to, like, I had the pieces in front of me. I think you could have technically solved this by chapter 4, maybe. But you would have to be like super fucking astute to actually link all this shit together. Because it would have been pretty difficult.
I think we mentioned last time we were in a meeting or either in chat that a lot of the pieces are just kind of put in place for you. The things that aren't given to you are the ways to link everything together. So even if you're told Rika is a time looper almost exclusively, you can't link it to something else without this particular chapter. So you can get up to probably chapter 6 and have almost everything except that one thing or those two things that really serve as your glue.
Right. Let's see. For chapter 5, I don't have my theories. I don't remember if I wrote them down or if I skipped it. I don't remember what I thought about chapter 5, but it was definitely something. For chapter 6, my theories were whether or not the parasite is real, the Sanosuke family is responsible for causing the Great Hinamizawa disaster. There are members of the family in the government, and anytime someone would get too close to the truth, they would trigger the disaster, killing everyone. Hence the whole "the government is involved" thing, which I believe that was Asakusa talking about that with the sealing of the swamp with cement. At some point, Rika would be murdered by someone before or on the day of the disaster, and with her death, her spirit, or that of Oyashiro-sama, whoever's inside her, would go to another timeline and start again. She's been doing this for years, and years now. I believe it was implied that it's been over 100, and it wasn't until this last attempt that she got the closest with Keiichi and someone else remembering what they did in the past life. So here I got a little bit closer, sort of. Replace parasite with the disease, and replace Sanosuke family with government.
Yeah, sort of.
And then I'm basically spot on. And then then that's my theory for chapter 6. By chapter 7, I already had everything down pat, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so that brings us into the kind of the recap section, which thankfully this one, I like this. This seems to be like a new wiki that popped up recently, and they have like a full but succinct recap. So we're just going to go through it paragraph by paragraph real quick. So the arc opens with a conversation between Rika Furude and an unseen character seemingly taking place in the meta world, which is what fans refer to, with the that space that she was in.
No, it's the metaverse.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, the metaverse from Persona 5.
Well, no, I meant by meta.
No, Persona 5. Just because it would piss Billy off.
It's like that video of Luigi being like, I just bought land in a metaverse or something.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
The two are surrounded by shards, each of which represent various summers of 1983. Rika sees shards for Onikakushi, Watanagashi, Meakashi, and Sumihoroboshi. After seeing these, Rika decides to move on to a new universe along with the unseen character. As they enter the new universe, the unseen character tells Rika that there is nothing she can do to change the outcome of a new shard or fragment. Yeah. I just bought more land in the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's quite literally Rika right now, right?
Yeah,
she just got a new fragment.
It happens constantly. Exactly. Every time there's a new loop, she buys more land.
And so the recap on this site kind of skips to the opening scene with the club at the toy store. But the big takeaway from this intro is, one, obviously it confirms everything about Rika, and two, we get a good look at Hanyu, which is basically Oyashiro-sama.
God, I remember when
crazy.
When this shit started, I kept saying, no way, is this what's really going on? And then the game would literally spell it out for me in the following sentence.
Yep.
They show us Hanyu. I'm like, is this fucking Oyashiro-sama? This is Hanyu. Is this Oyashiro-sama? This is Oyashiro-sama. I'm like, fuck you. It happened constantly. It kept happening.
I'm decently sure it's a universal thing.
It is, yeah. But we open on a familiar scene where the club is playing a board game tournament at the Sonozaki toy shop. Over the course of the beginning of the tournament, Rika laments how she has lived through this exact scenario several times and thus knows exactly how it will play out. Rika remembers that Keiichi Maibara started to show awareness of parallel worlds during Meakashi Hen and decides to... they put Meakashi, I think they meant Sumihoroboshi. I think, actually, no, he does have, a moment in Meakashi. But, it's, one tiny hint. It's not, in Sumihoroboshi, where it's, spelled out for you that he remembers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he has awareness, and so she decides to confide in him about her lamentations, hoping that Keiichi would again...
develops.
Hoping that Keiichi would remember the existence of parallel worlds. Unfortunately, Keiichi makes fun of Rika's claims of parallel worlds and insists that there is no such thing as fate. In order to prove herself right, Rika accurately predicts how the club members will be split up in the tournament, which games each group will be playing. Though initially surprised by Rika's apparent clairvoyance, Keiichi shocks Rika by sending back the game his group was meant to play, thus changing his quote-unquote fate. This turn of event then inspires hope in Rika that she might be able to solve the mysteries of Watanagashi during this timeline. After the tournament, the shop owner distributes dolls to the club members with the exception of Mio. Rika, in an attempt to avoid a repeat of Watanagashi, attempts to influence reality by telling Keiichi to give Mion the doll. Rika is then surprised when Keiichi gives Mion the doll before she can actually intervene. So this was actually... this was cool because it's the first time outside of the tip from, I think it was Meakashi, or Sumihoroboshi, I can't remember. But there was a tip that you get where it's do you want the red box or the blue box? And you get a choice. But this is the first time in the main story where it's actually giving you a decision. And I actually had a friend recently reach out to me. They were like, hey, I thought I disabled decisions by default. What's going on? Is the mod broken? And I'm like, just pick something. And so, yeah, this was a fun scene where it's the choice does. We've already been shown in that tip that choices don't matter in this world, and so this was a nice way of reinforcing that, where it's people are just gonna kind of do their thing.
It's fucking funny because because I also asked you that, like, while it was happening on stream. I, like, sent you a message. I was like, I'm gonna go with whatever, like, what I think is right. And then I messaged you, and I was like, hey, by the way, does this shit fucking matter? I think I even told you that I thought the mod was broken. Let me see if I can find him, because I remember I sent it to you. Oh yeah. I was like, hey, quick thing. I just got a question in the chapter. Is this normal? And then I advised him. I advised him on who he should give the doll to, or I did nothing and watched the events unfold. And he just responded with a smiley face and then yes. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's a nice surprise because you're not expecting it, so when it comes up, you're like, whoa, wait, hold on, what's going on? But yeah, no, so this was a really nice scene where Keiji is clearly, like, he doesn't necessarily remember the other worlds at this point, but, you know, Rika talking to her friends, cough, cough, wink, wink, caused some major changes to occur in this world. So let's see. Oh yeah, so Keiji, right, he claims the reason he gave Mion the doll was because of a dream in which he saw awful things transpire from not giving her the doll. So he doesn't realize that he saw an alternate world yet in this world, but he did see it.
It came to him in a dream.
Yeah. Source? My source is that I made it.
I made it the fuck up.
Rena reveals to the group that she too had strange dreams which led her to confront her father on the state of the Ryugu family after her parents' divorce. Keiichi wonders internally about how Shion and Satoko have become so close recently, implying that Shion also had dreams that have led her to become close to Satoko. Rika becomes filled with hope after seeing that all of the club members are beginning to be influenced by parallel worlds. So even if they don't realize it yet, it's happening. So we skip forward a little bit here. When night falls, Rika speaks with Hanyu, a young girl in a shrine maiden outfit visible only to Rika. So this is when we get kind of like more clear.
Yeah, it's when she gets introduced, like, for the first time.
Yeah, introductions, yep. During the conversation, Rika reveals that her ability to go backwards into parallel worlds has diminished to the point where now she can only go back to a mere 2 weeks before the Watanagashi festival. Her waning powers have caused Rika to lose hope in her ability to discover who consistently manages to kill Mio Takano, Jiro Tomitake, and then herself. Rika also reveals that she has lived through so many realities that she's technically over 100 years old, which, not going to bore stream with the math details, but it's a little bit more than 100 years. Just by conjecture, based on like how her power diminishes over each use. Yeah, she's old.
She's gonna get dementia by the time she's like 20.
True. Bulge. Rika concludes that this fragment is likely going to be her last chance, as she believes it will be unlikely that she will stumble upon a scenario where the club has been influenced by parallel worlds again. So another interesting scene where she's kind of like musing. They don't cover it in the recap, but she's also drinking wine.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Hanyu's like, please stop. And she's like, no.
Please stop drinking, my alcoholic roommate. Okay. After some time, Itsuko ends up being killed by the Sonozaki Yakuza for attempting to steal money. Oh, that's also Rina. Yeah. They spelled her full name, but Rina. Rina's killed by the Sonozaki Yakuza for attempting to steal money from the Sonozaki family. This results in her lover, Teppei, being forced to return to Hinamizawa. Upon returning, Teppei finds Satoko and forces her to stay with him. Teppei's return crushes Rika's hope for the world of Minagoroshi, as everything prior to this had been going surprisingly well. Furthermore, Rika has never been able to save Satoko from her abusive uncle in any prior world that Rika has been in. Unlike prior worlds, however, the rest of the club decides to take non-violent action to save Satoko and ends up organizing a protest group that repeatedly visits the child welfare office, demanding that Satoko be taken into protective custody. After rousing the support of all of the Hinamizawa school students, several attendees of Angel Mort, over 100 villagers from Hinamizawa, and the Sonozaki Yakuza, the Child Consultation Center caves into the group's demands and prioritizes Satoko's case. After a lengthy phone call, Rika manages to convince Satoko to admit to the abuse, allowing the police to raid the Hojo household and save Satoko. And they kind of gloss over it here in this paragraph, but the scenes with Keiichi convincing Oryo were so cool.
Yeah, like this skips about 5 chapters, but like we're already at the end game. By the end, like just with that little summary, because I mean most of it was literally about 3 or 4 chapters of Keiichi just trying to convince the Child Consultation Center to fucking do something. Which is fine. It's fine that they skip all that. Like it's not a huge deal, I guess, for summary's sake. But yeah, they mentioned non-violently, but mind you, they tried to violently stop Teppei at the very beginning, and by they I mean Shion, and by violently I mean she tried to push everyone out of the way so she could go kill him right then and there. And then Keiichi had to stop her and be like, you need to like not do that. If you do that, bad things will happen. And her being like, fuck.
Yeah, she was experiencing 1500 second syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. She literally said, I will kill him in 1500 seconds.
That was so cool to read. They share a brain cell, those two.
Definitely.
Honestly, kind of crazy that they boil down the entirety of that, which at that point is kind of the entire chapter's narrative, is freeing Satoko from her fate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a good 60% of this chapter, yeah.
Into, what was it, a paragraph with maybe 5-6 sentences? Kind of crazy.
Yeah, just about. Because like the 1500 seconds line, let's see. Yeah, that happened around in my playthrough. It was part 4, so that was chapter 4 itself. Because I believe we did 1 and 2 at the start. I don't remember if I did 1 chapter, but in case I hadn't, it's at least chapter 4 or chapter 5, then chapter 6, 7, 8. It wasn't until chapter 9 that we rescue Satoko, and then chapter 10 is the what happens before the finale, and then the finale. So literally that like we're about to talk about the final fucking just events here already.
Well, and there's a lot of details to cover in the ending, because a lot of things happen, a lot of things get revealed. That's the big thing. We get one big reveal in the beginning, then we get a long like middle section that, while very long on its own, it can be, I feel, boiled down into a paragraph or 2, just because the gist is they go, it doesn't work, so they come back with more people and it doesn't work, so they come back with more people and it doesn't work, and that's the extent of it. And thankfully, I mean, like it was one of the most heart-touching scenes especially with the CG. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I know Razor was playing with CGs, but there is a CG that plays after, like, when you're done with the Teppei arc. I'm trying to find it. There it is. Somebody did a cringe edit of it, and I don't want to share that one.
Cringe edit of it.
The CG.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this was just a really sweet moment. Like, this was one of the things that Rika could never ever fix, and this kind of like cemented it for her. Like, oh, people aren't just remembering, they're acting, and this was like the final straw for her to be like, okay, I fully believe in the people of this of Hinamizawa now.
Yeah, she believes in the power of friendship finally.
Like, more or less, yeah.
Undermined that Rika just kind of undermined in the summary, that kind of just remembers, oh crap, you know what? I haven't locked in at all in 100 years. I'm just LARPing as a witch, pretending to be wise and whatever, and I'm not doing anything. I'm just letting things happen to me, and I'm not fighting at all. I just gave up at some point.
Yep. Yeah, she mentions that she would try her best to get everyone to understand, but she realized, oh, well, no one really cares. Or every time I do, this happens or that happens. But then she kind of started realizing, you know what, maybe I should try a little harder. I never actually got like super involved with some of these events. I should try to see what happens. And then that's what she started doing. And then all of a sudden, everything starts to just work out. Once she actually sets her fucking mind to it, she's like, you know what, maybe things can change. Maybe friendship is good.
Friendship is magic.
Now, one thing that I didn't realize until right now, actually, was like, we know Rika has been going through these events at least for 100 years or so, or more. That means that it wasn't until like now that Keiichi and the others are remembering their past events from all those hundreds of possible timelines where all this shit has already happened. We've only seen 2 versions of 6 events play out for chapters 1, 2, and 3, and then 5, 6, and 7. And from those events, or from those chapters, it wasn't until chapter 6 where Keiichi kind of like saw something from a past life, and then it wasn't until chapter 7 where all the characters basically kind of had all of their past lives kind of possibly come to them in a dream, and they've seen all the horrible shit that they've done in all those multiple timelines over and over and over again. It wasn't until like then that it finally cemented in that it was finally cemented in their minds that it's like, shit, maybe I shouldn't do this or that. And it's fucking crazy that it took him 100+ years to actually get it right. It's like Sisyphus.
The way I think about it too is like they all mention that it's dreams that they had, right? And not every person is going to talk to their friends about their dreams, because it's just dreams, right? And so I feel like Rika starting that conversation and being like, Keiichi, can you, and then him doing it, and then him saying that it was because of a dream he had. Opening up to his friends in that way allowed them to also open themselves up and be like, hey, maybe I should think about this a little bit more. It's a possibility that they've been having these dreams in every timeline, and they just didn't care to acknowledge them or talk about them. True,
because like I said, we only saw a snippet of a week for each of these like chapters. For all we know, in those chapters they didn't dream about this shit, or for all we know they did. But it's also kind of awkward for some of these characters to maybe talk about this shit without, like Rika bringing it up first. Because how the fuck is Keiichi gonna be like, hey, by the way, I had a dream where I bashed your skull in and your skull in because both of you tried to kill me, or so I thought.
Yeah.
And I used this baseball bat that I found in this locker. It's a steel baseball bat. It belonged to this guy named Satoshi.
Also had the name, yeah.
Yeah. And he was protecting me as I literally bashed your skulls in.
And it just all comes back full circle to that idea of talking with your friends, talking with your loved ones about your problems. And it's like, not every time you do that, are you going to walk away with a solution, but you never know what could happen.
Right.
And it's not just these characters as well. It's in that after party where Ryukishi is like, hey, talk to your friends about this story.
And then I thought you meant the final scene where they're all fucking like going to heaven, and you're like, oh, in that after party when they all realize, and it's just all of them in that dream scenario. Like this being the fucking after party.
Jesus. Yeah, honestly, I don't know how they would have handled an after party. They tried to do one with Minagoroshi, and Aru has read it, so I won't say anything. It's interesting for sure. I'm kind of glad they switched over to the Ryukishi fireside chat.
A way that it's able to be described without any type of spoiler or something like that, we can say that it just kind of ruins the mood.
Yeah.
I can imagine, because it's like, imagine you read through all this shit and then it's the characters being like, wow, can you believe that we all died? Wow.
Yeah.
That was
Can you imagine, wow, seeing Rika-chan stab herself in the throat with a knife was kind of crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, can you
Or just
believe that
bullying
this time
Shion
she...
or
Yeah, it's fucking weird,
it's a
to
fun
some
episode.
extent. So I am glad
So-
that they didn't do one for Chapter 7 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of ruined the entire mood after Minagoroshi in particular. So it is still a really fun read.
Yeah, it is. It is
Not
fun.
after that.
Yeah, and you're in the right headspace for it once you get to Ray, because after Ray, it's just like, whatever. All right, so following the events of Satoko's salvation, if we will, Rika is filled with determination. Undertale reference.
No.
Rika's filled with determination to change her fate and discover who is behind her death, as well as the deaths of Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano. Rika makes several requests of Tomitake, Takano, Irie, and Oishi to protect her. Takano, who controls a high-end security team known as the Yamainu, promises to have a team of bodyguards protect Rika, and Oishi does everything within his power to accommodate Rika's requests. Despite her warnings, Tomitake and Takano never take Rika's warnings of their deaths seriously, which is an interesting stance for them to take.
Speaking of, you go ahead. I'll confirm this real quick.
I was gonna say, not a lot of reveals really there. Just Rika showing Rika that she's talking to her. I won't say that they're loved ones, but like talking to the people around her more and opening up instead of just being a recluse.
Right. One thing that I do want to note is here in that wiki, if you hover over Yamainu, they have it translated as wild dogs in this, but it's using the kanji Yama, which is mountain. So I'm not sure why they went with wild dogs for this one, but
it says wild dogs yen press version, so that's what the translators of the manga decided to call them.
Yeah,
because it maybe made more sense in English to be like, don't go into the mountains because there are wild dogs out there, because they kind of hint at that as well early on, where they're like, oh, there's mountain dogs out there.
Careful in the mountains. You might end up invisible after you visit there at night or something. I'm kidding. Duran Duran did not even make that song when fucking MGS5 came out. Which a lot of people forget. Yeah, sure. I'm sure if Kojima made like fucking MGS6, he'd probably add that in there somewhere.
Probably.
Just as a bit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even fit in the narrative. You would just have it as a bit.
Yeah. It's gonna come out in Death Stranding 3. Anyway.
Sorry. My bad. On the night of the Watanagashi, Rika has Oishi put a squad car near the border of the village, the place where Tomitake's body is always found. After the Watanagashi festival, Tomitake, they put their first names here, it's so strange. Tomitake and Takano drive to the Irie clinic and discuss Rika's condition, as well as her warning. During this conversation, Takano calls in 6 mountain dogs and has them hold down Tomitake. The mountain dogs chloroform Tomitake, and Takano injects him with H173, a deadly weaponized strain of Hinamizawa syndrome, which escalates the symptoms of the syndrome to its final stage, level 5. This causes extreme irritation of the lymph nodes. Following this, Takano leads Tomitake into the loads Tomitake into the trunk of her car and drives back to Hinamizawa to dump his body.
Also, she doesn't fucking do that. She orders the mountain dogs to put him in the trunk.
Yeah. That's fair. So the mountain dogs load him up in the trunk. She drives back to Hinamizawa to dump his body, and then she dumps him near a rice field after seeing the squad car in the area where she originally wanted to dump him, and drives off. When he wakes up, Tomitake claws out his own throat and bleeds to death. And this was interesting because it kind of like the scene where he's getting beat up is Ryukishi. It's a tiny detail, but it's him telling you, hey, this is why there were signs of a struggle.
Yeah.
Because like we always know that like, oh, he clawed out his own throat, but there were signs of a struggle, and he had like a wooden plank near him, so maybe he was fighting something. And no, he wasn't. He was just getting, beat up beforehand. These soldiers. Yeah.
He was fighting demons.
I mean, yeah.
That's why at first in the first chapter, I believe they imply that he was fighting off children.
Mm-hmm.
Because they found small footprints, I believe, near where Tomitake was found. So the police were like, okay, he was probably fighting off what seemed to be children, which kind of adds to the whole like mystery of just Hinamizawa, and it lets the mind of the reader wonder, and it has them just go crazy, like with all their theories. Like, okay, so if Keiichi was being targeted by his friends, who's to say that Tomitake wasn't targeted by the same kids or other kids from Hinamizawa? And that just led to his death. They surrounded him and they somehow got him injected with some drug.
No, it just turns out Takano has tiny feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
That goes crazy.
New Takano lore? In case you hadn't, pieced it together.
So later on, Oishi talks with Rika about Tomitake's death and Takano's apparent death, both of which Rika had predicted and informs Oishi about in advance. Oishi becomes suspicious that the body burned in the Gifu Mountains isn't actually Takano's, which leads Rika to become more suspicious of the Yamainu unit that is protecting her. And of course, that conversation was fun because she's like, "What, do you suspect me, Oishi?" And he's like, "No way. I wanted to confirm some things," which is cop speak for, "Yeah, I suspect you."
Yeah, of course.
Back in chapter 6 in Minagoroshi, there was a moment where Oishi is dealing with the situation of the school and the whole autopsy report for who they find in the mountains for Takano comes in. And the detail of she's been dead for 24 hours gets revealed and leaked to Rena. And Oishi just kind of shrugs it off as the forensics guys kind of suck.
Yeah.
But crazy how it just ended up being the make or break detail for the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was they emphasized that a lot in chapter 2 as well. They throw that bone at you all the way back in chapter 2 when Oishi visits Keiichi and brings him porn in the hospital, and he's like, "Hey, I brought you porn. I know you have a broken dick right now." Anyway, did you know? Did you know? When we found Takano's body, it actually stated that she had been dead for 24 hours before we found her. But she was killed that night because you saw her at the festival. And Keiichi's like, "How is that even possible?" And Oishi's like, "That's what I want to know."
What a boner kill, man.
All right. So the following night, this is the final paragraph, kind of. There's a second paragraph after this, but it's a single sentence, so I'm just going to combine it all into one. The following night, Rika asks Oishi to send a group of policemen to protect her. In addition, the club members all go to Rika's house to help her. Oishi, who had gone to Gifu to verify the supposed body of Takano, promises Rika that he would arrive at her house that night. On his way to the house, however, he and his partner Kumagai see a suspicious van and a group of men messing with the telephone lines. After confronting them, Kumagai and Oishi are both gunned down by the Yamainu. Following this, the Yamainu unit around Rika's house moves in and takes out the police guarding the first floor. Rika and her friends escape into the forest where they are intercepted by a van full of Yamainu members. After fighting off a number of Yamainu, Takano steps out of the van and shoots Keiichi, killing him instantly. The rest of the Yamainu manage to restrain the rest of the club members, whom Takano shoots and kills one by one. By the way, do you know what the difference between broccoli and cauliflower is?
One's green. Darn.
Correct.
Correct. Here's your prize: a bullet to the head.
After everyone except Rika is dead, Mio has the Yamainu tie up Rika and take her to the Furude shrine, where she is disemboweled and killed. During that point, Rika is telling herself that she has to endure as long as possible so she can engrave this memory into her soul.
Yeah.
So that she will never forget it, and she will immediately remember that it was Takano. A few days later, Takano has the Prime Minister approve of Emergency Manual number 34 and incites the Great Hinamizawa disaster, killing off the entirety of Hinamizawa and solidifying the legend of Oyashiro-sama forever. Title drop.
Right.
Title drop.
She performs the Minagoroshi.
This surely was the Higurashi when they cry.
So, a lot of stuff got revealed right at the end, like with Takano being the culprit mainly. Obviously, the Yamainu and Tomitake and Irie's involvement is another huge factor, but this is all mainly Takano's doing. She's the one in charge of everyone, at least in the town. And what's interesting here is that Ryukishi has basically given you the whole mystery at this point, so you know everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to a murder case, like specifically in a courtroom, there's three things that it needs to have. So you need to have the who, you need to have the how, and you need to have the why. And right now you have the who and the how, but you don't necessarily have the why. She touches a little bit on, like, she says she wants to become a god and wants to become whatever. But that's the main thing that you have left. And so I'm really curious to hear what your thoughts on the why are.
I will interject, sorry, real quick. You might have a little bit of a hint to the why. You got in some of the tips someone calling themselves Hifumi T.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very end, it's revealed that it's Hifumi Takano.
Yeah. It's Takano's father.
Father?
Or grandfather. I forget which.
Grandfather. I don't know.
Grandfather. Okay. My guess. So it's either. God, what was the name of the organization? Tokyo?
Yeah, they just call themselves Tokyo to not arouse suspicion.
Yeah. So my guess is that Tokyo wants to have some sort of bioweapon, which they can then just sell to the highest bidder. Literally ripping off Metal Gear Solid 1 with Metal Gear. They're pulling an MGS1 Shadow Moses Island thing. Like it's like you can just picture fucking Liquid Snake in the Tokyo headquarters being like, we will create a bioweapon that can annihilate anyone by driving them insane, and then with the threat of using it on the whole world, we'll sell it to the highest bidder for at least $1 billion or some shit like that. And then he calls someone brother.
Wasn't that too, but at the beginning of MGS2, that's the whole point. That Metal Gear Ray was essentially being manufactured.
Yeah. So that's my guess that that Tokyo wants to they want to do some biological testing in order to create a bioweapon. Once they could harness this very unique and crazy strain of the fucking the fucking Hinamizawa pox, and use that on like whomever the hell they want to sell it to. Either that or have that as some sort of a way to like make Japan the way it used to be before the Great Wars, because that's something that they mentioned. So it's either like Tokyo wants to do some ethnic cleansing around the whole fucking world, or they want to sell this bioweapon to someone. And Takano is involved because, well, one, she is obsessed with Hinamizawa, I guess I'm gonna guess her entire family studied this fucking village for, you know, generations, and something happened to her grandfather. He probably got Watanagashi'd, and she wants to get revenge by killing literally the closest thing you got to, like, the leader of the village, which is the queen, in this case being Rika. So that would be my guess.
Got it. Just to make sure I understand your theory correctly. So timeline of events. Rika's grandfather is working for Tokyo to make this bioweapon.
Takano's grandpa.
Takano. Takano's grandpa is working for Tokyo to make this bioweapon. Something happens to him because of Hinamizawa. He gets Watanagashi or demoned away or whatever. This infuriates Takano, and so she joins Tokyo to get in on the project, and then kills off all of Hinamizawa to get revenge against Tokyo, or get revenge against Hinamizawa for killing off her grandpa. That's kind of where your theory is at right now?
Kinda, except the start, where I think her grandfather more than likely had good intentions, that he just wanted to study like the cultural aspects of Hinamizawa, and then he probably brought up like their crazy history to these people, and then they just started researching them, and they're like, why don't you join them as a folklorist or something and be like an advisor? And then once they discovered the Hinamizawa syndrome, they were like, well, can we isolate and extract that? And then when the answer was yes, that's when shit started, to go cray-cray. Because if it is her grandfather, this is presumably, he was probably studying them before World War I believe. We have some, I don't remember when his notes are from. I believe they are from World War I or World War II, one of those two. And by that point, they were just, it was like the 60s, I believe. It was either the 60s or the 40s. And they were discussing like the effects of Hinamizawa syndrome on a lot of the Hinamizawa soldiers and stuff like that. And then they were kind of talking about isolating that, or like trying to use that as a weapon of war, some shit like that. It's been 2 weeks and I'm exhausted, I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was something like that. So that's my guess, that he was involved with the research, and then it kind of turned into, he wanted to do just a research for the research sake, and then Tokyo was kind of like, well, we can use this for our benefit, and they're either going to use it as a weapon of mass destruction, or they're going to sell it to the highest bidder, one of those two. And of course Takano's just like obsessed with this shit because she's a psychopath. Or well, she's an otaku for Hinamizawa.
Yeah. She's a fanatic. That word has a more positive connotation in Japan, from what I've heard. So,
what, otaku?
No, fanatic.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's just mania.
Oh yeah. Sorry, maniac. Yeah. Yeah, no, so that's a pretty solid way to look at things with what information you have so far. This is one of the things where, like, you have so little time and such little information about Takano's past. Like, obviously, stuff happened, right? So there's not a lot that you can go off of, but I think that's a pretty solid start to thinking about it. Obviously, a lot of that stuff is going to get answered almost, like, right away when you start the next chapter, so.
Right, because, like, I don't know where the fuck they're gonna go with this, is the thing. Like, how to word it. Any instance that we've seen involving the aftermath of whatever the chapter was, anything that happens after the events of the chapter that you read, where you skip to the future, to the year, what is it, like, is it 1990? It was 1999, I think, with Asakusa and Oishi talking about shit. When you skip to that era, everyone's dead, and the Great Hinamizawa disaster is canon. So, like, my guess is that, like, Rika is unable to stop this, and she just kind of, accepts her fate. Or something. Like, she might be able to stop Takano, but it still goes through. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the fuck they're gonna go with this. considering that, like, we're still seeing the events of Asakusa talking to Oishi in the future, and them still, like, you know, fucking wrapping their head around this. The only other thing I can think of happening is Rika comes to terms with the fact that she's gonna die. She's not gonna, like, do another cycle, and instead she's gonna leave a very detailed set of notes on what happened and give them to Oishi or Asakusa or something. And they or she will hide them somewhere and they will find them when they visit the village again after it's been opened. And, you know, it'll probably be by the fucking tree or some shit. Asakusa is gonna be standing next to the tree and being like, oh, this is where I met her so many years ago. Why didn't I listen to her when she asked me for help? And then he, like, trips over a branch and he's like, oh, what's this? And he starts digging. There's a fucking box and it says, for Asakusa, I knew you would find this box eventually. Here's everything that fucking happened. Huh?
Because you would trip on this branch. I've seen it 50 million times.
Yeah. Yeah. Hanyu's fucking waiting by the tree. She pushes him over.
Oh, well. So let me flip this around, actually. So instead of just theorizing on what you think will happen or what you think Takano's backstory is, what is your ideal ending from where we're at right now? How would you end this story?
So how to word it?
If you want, we can also go character by character and think about, like, what would be the best fate for Rika? What would be the best fate for Keiichi?
Like, when you start this series, most people, I assume, are very pessimistic about the outcomes. Like, as they formulate their ideas or their theories, they're probably pretty pessimistic. I was not expecting this to be like power or friendship shit by the end. Like, I was not expecting, you know, shonen cartoon like ending thing. Like, I was literally not expecting any of this shit. Like, it's literally kind of Gao Geiger almost at this point, where they're counting on bravery. So I was not expecting it to go this route. So I'm pretty sure that most people are just like, okay, well, there's a ton of murders, and maybe we find out who the killer is, but through, like, you know, fighting tooth and nail to find out who the fuck that person is and scrapping with a lot of people and result. Like, it's like, imagine all of the craziest events happening at once where everyone's killing each other and shit like that, and then you find out who the killer is. That's probably what most people assume. But so if I were to, let's say, know all the shit that I know now, that, like, without the friendship shit, if I would have known, okay, Rika's a time traveler, and then it's Takano that's involved, I probably would have been like, okay, so the ideal ending is they fucking kill her, and then, like, none of the shit happens, right? But now it's like, how would they go about it? Like, if I wanted, like, an ideal ending for this, it'd be like, okay, well, fucking Rika can live past the Great Hinamizawa disaster. Like, it doesn't happen, and Rika's finally able to have a normal life. Which, I hate saying this, but, like, playing, if you open up, When They Cry Ho Plus, the home screen has what is implied to be a Rika that's like 18 or something. It is a woman in a shrine maiden's outfit with long bluish purple hair. That's implied.
So that's actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead.
It's implied to be Rika, right?
So, I think I know who you're talking about. It's on the Steam store page, right?
No, it's on like when you run the game here. I'll send it to you in a sec. I'll open up the game real quick. It's probably gonna. But if you open up the game and you start it, since there's no audio for this, but this is what you see. Hold on. Let me close it. So this is what appears on screen when you fire up Ho Plus for the first time, or just in general. Whenever you open up Ho Plus, this is what you get.
Okay.
So for sure, when I saw this, I'm like, okay, so no matter what, Rika probably lives. Assuming this is even Rika. For all I know, it's someone else. For all I know, it's some other shit. But this is what I saw the first time when I opened up Ho Plus. So my guess is, yeah, somehow Rika manages to make it out, and yeah, that's it. Or this is like, I don't know, she's in whatever equivalent of heaven they want to go with, or whatever afterlife, and that's her still being a shrine maiden in Hinamizawa while all her friends are, you know, somewhere else, or some shit. Either way, but ideal ending is, you know, they move past this shit. They're able to figure out who the killer is. Rika is somehow able to convince Oishi, hey, it's fucking Takano. Somehow they're able to get with Asakusa, who uses his contacts in the FBI or whatever, to somehow stop Tokyo, and then they're, you know, all this shit gets put to rest. And then she can finally move on with her life, being, you know, a fucking 10-year-old or whatever in Hinamizawa, and finally move past the summer of June 1983. That would be like my ideal ending. As for how the fuck that's gonna happen, I don't know how the hell they're gonna like do all that in one chapter in like the course of 2 weeks.
So ideally, so let's just going down the list. So obviously the gang, so Keiichi, Sato, Rena, Rika, Mion, they all live through this disaster. We can also include like Shion in that. Are there any characters that have specific things that you feel like could be resolved and probably should be resolved?
I mean, not really, because all the characters that did have any issues had them resolved in this last chapter. As in, they all kind of came to terms with everything that they've done in the alternate universes, and they're like, shit, I shouldn't do that. And then that's what resulted in, you know, Shion being nicer to Satoko having a quote-unquote older, like, sibling to be with her, Keiichi realizing who his friends are and then being able to come clean to them so that he could actually, you know, they could actually accept him for who he is instead of what he did in his past. You know, Rena being like, I'm not gonna kill my dad's girlfriend. That'd probably be a stupid idea. And I'm not gonna butcher her and keep her body in the fridge in the dumpster. So like kind of all that shit kind of got resolved. It was just Satoko's uncle coming and just kind of ruining everything. I'm pretty sure we could have gotten maybe the same ending that we got this time, but like without all the hassle. But then also would have resulted in Rika not kind of learning like, oh, I should probably speak up more. But no, I'm pretty sure, like, my guess is that chapter 8 is gonna go a little bit similar to chapter 7, where if Rika manages to remember who did this to her, she's gonna be like, okay, I could do this and this, and then she's probably gonna be like, hey Keiichi, have you ever had weird dreams about stuff happening? And then Keiichi being like, no, I don't think so. And then he thinks about it in chapter 2 of chapter 8 and be like, you know what, actually, yes, I have. And then Rika's gonna start to nudge everyone to remember. Then they all remember by the time of the Watanagashi, but by that point she's already talking to Oishi or something. Maybe Asakusa shows up again. Or Akasuka shows up again, not Asakusa. That's a fucking place in Japan. I keep having SFD in my head. Akasuka shows up. Yeah, he shows up and you know, it all just so happens to work out in this final shard. Now, again, this is not including any possible spoilers that I might have had just when browsing for, like, just looking at these games, like specifically like with Ho Plus, like here, I don't know who this gremlin is, but I'm gonna assume this thing. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know who that is, but unfortunately, because I've seen this fucking like Labubu's eyeballs, I'm gonna assume that is the creature that was like talking to us at the end of chapter 7.
That's crazy.
So, all I'll say on it is that there's a reason why she's the icon plus and not in any of the art for any of the other games. So I wouldn't worry about her too much. Is all I'll say.
Right, and if it's not her, it'd be someone else. Whoever is actually overseeing all this. Is like, you know, whoever's actually keeping Rika in this like loop more than likely, or whoever gave Rika these like loop powers. That'd be my guess.
So best outcomes then would be Rika no longer has to loop. Keiichi doesn't get paranoid. so like he trusts in his friends. Rena figures out the situation with her family and like her, not necessarily her parents getting divorced, but like she and her dad have a stable life, and so Rina never comes into the picture. Teppei, because Rina never comes into the picture at all, Rina and Teppei stay together, and Teppei stays away from Satoko, so Satoko doesn't have to suffer through that. Mion gets the doll and feels validated by her friend. And obviously for these other ones as well, we'll just tack on lives past the summer of 1983.
Yeah.
But there's that. Shion strengthens her relationship with Satoko. Obviously, she would go crazy over Satoshi's disappearance and blame Satoko for it. What about, obviously, like Oishi has already told us, one of his life's goals is to, like, solve the mystery of Hinamizawa. So, like, obviously, by getting past this, he would fulfill that. Other major characters. I guess the big one is, do you think that, because this is really the last chance to, they're going to basically confirm this final part, but do you think that Satoshi really was killed, or do you think that he's still around somewhere? And obviously, if this is like a miracle world, do you think that even
Wasn't
if he
that
is
confirmed?
dead, maybe? Huh?
Wasn't that confirmed?
No.
I could have sworn that they confirmed that that Satoshi was demoned away by the mountain dogs, and that they killed him. And I remember Takano like laughing about it or something.
I mean, they definitely confirmed that the mountain dogs were involved with his disappearance.
Okay, then Satoshi was kidnapped and kept alive and used as a test subject.
I mean, I would probably bet on, at this point, we've seen that miracles can happen, obviously, with them realizing that the parallel worlds exist. So there's a possibility. I was just more so just like knowing that miracles can happen. I was wondering if you had considered maybe fitting Satoshi into your
I had not,
your like
but
perfect ending.
But like, because I mean, it's kind of because you can't really fix Satoshi still existing, because Rika can't go back that far. I'm sure if she could, she'd probably talk to him and be like, "Look, you gotta just protect your little sister some more. You can't kill your aunt. You gotta like fucking live with it."
What would the closure? Oh, sorry, Aru.
For the sake of a really quick thought experiment.
Sorry, could you speak up a little bit?
Bad happened? What if Keiichi never shot children in the eye? What if Mion and Shion didn't switch? What if Rena's parents never got divorced?
Yeah, sorry to interject. Could you speak up a little bit more?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
What if Keiichi never shot children in the face or in the eye? What if Mion and Shion never switched on the day that Shion was to be made? Yeah. What if Rena's parents never got divorced? Satoko and Satoshi's parents never died, so they never got taken into Teppei and their aunt. Would that be ideal to you, do you think?
I wouldn't mind. If that happens, we don't have a story. But again, like, that's assuming, because like again, I still don't know for sure, like 100%, like how the rules of these worlds work. All I know is that Rika can go back to like 2 weeks before the Watanagashi. For all I know, there's like 7 timelines, and she's hopping between all 7 of them, and it's not 100 or 200 new ones. where any of this can happen before. And for all we know, she restarts, she wakes up again in 1982. It's fucking the start of June or whatever. And Keiichi is not in town. She goes to school. She's like, hey, where's Keiichi? And then everyone's like, who the fuck is Keiichi? And Satoshi's there instead. Like, Satoshi walks in through the door and he's like, hey, what's up, guys? And then everything that you just mentioned happened. And then the Mion that we're talking to is the actual Mion, who was supposed to be Shion. Shion is also there as well, and and so on and so forth. For all we know, like, that could happen, but I mean, if it happened, I kind of wouldn't care. I'd be like, okay, that's fine. That's an okay ending. Keiichi never became a fucking asshole. He didn't get to meet his friends, but I don't think Ryukishi would probably do that, mainly because he likes the character too much, more than likely.
Okay. So this is interesting. There's just a lot to consider. Like, obviously, you could start Matsuri Bayashi right now and have all of these last, like, final details answered.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it right now.
It's interesting to think about. Interesting to think about, like, how you would want everything to end. You would want everyone to, more or less, I think when you get to this point, you just kind of want everyone to be happy. You want everything to be settled.
Yeah.
Because, like, you've seen the things they've had to go through, and no child deserves to go through the things that these kids have gone through. So we just need it to be over.
Right. And I mean, this might be more meta shit from my part, but, like, anytime a writer has tried to do, let's say, something as ambitious as this, and then the ending is like, let's say, oh yeah, everyone but this character shows up, I'm pretty sure it would result in all the fans just rioting and be like, no, go fuck yourself. What do you mean Keiichi doesn't fucking come back? What do you mean Keiichi never shot a kid, so he's not in here, but everything else happens? That's fucking stupid. Now you're doing this in chapter 8. You didn't bring this up in, like, chapter 5 or something. You didn't have that be a possibility where Keiichi doesn't show up before. Now it's happening. Oh, and then it just so happens that Rika's like, oh, this is the first time in 200 years that I've seen this happen. No, fuck you, Ryukishi. That's stupid. And then Ryukishi has to apologize, and then he has to, like, do a fucking chapter 8 plus where it's got an alternate ending and an alternate story where Keiichi actually shows up, and then it gives the fans the endings that they want. If Ryukishi was a stupid writer, I would probably see him doing that mistake, or making that mistake. But Ryukishi's a very, very, very good writer. I doubt he would give us something like that. He would probably give us a very satisfying ending. Even if it's not like, oh, everyone lives, or everyone has, like, the ending that they want, I'm pretty sure the ending that he will give us, or that he has given us, I guess, because it's already been out for years and decades at this point, is pretty good. I'm pretty sure that people are very satisfied with the ending. Because if they were not... I'm pretty sure not a single person would tell me, oh, okay, play all the way till the end. Or they would be like, nah, you should avoid Higurashi. The ending kind of sucks.
Do you think if that happened, Ryukishi would be canceled online?
I mean, I don't think he'd be alive by now. I think he probably would have killed himself in, like, 2007 when his fucking novel failed.
That's crazy.
Because these are his hopes and dreams. Like, dude was like a failing, like, eroge mangaka or whatever, drawing doujins. Like, what the fuck else is he gonna do? Just get a job and play fucking Final Fantasy 14 all day? Like, I don't think he was gonna do that. I think he would have been like, shit, I can't believe I fucking failed as a writer. I think he would have probably been overwhelmed by depression and then probably ended it all. You would have pulled a Rika knife scene fight, or a knife fight scene, and then just, like, do that in the kitchen or something. If I want to be very pessimistic. Yeah. I'm glad he gave us a good ending. Instead of having my hypothetical act out.
One side, like, something, like, slightly off topic, that I wanted to bring up is now would be a good time, if you haven't yet, it would be a good time to watch Akihabara Geeks, because in the movie, he is currently developing Minagoroshi. So there's some footage of it that gets displayed. It's obviously, like, the Japanese version, so if you don't know, I mean, you can read a little bit, so, like, that's kind of why I wouldn't have suggested it up to this point, but there's it's interesting because it's one of the few pieces of, like, it's one of the few interviews he's done, because he's not a very like social or public person. He posts a lot on Twitter, but like he doesn't talk to people a whole lot, which is interesting. But it's interesting as well because it's an English movie and not like a Japanese movie that got subs. So there's some interesting stuff in there. I know I keep using that word a lot, but yeah, no, it's pretty cool. It's fairly short. It's like a documentary about a couple different people. But yeah, Ryukishi was very prominently featured, and they showed off some of his studio, quote unquote. It's just his parents' house.
Yeah, I found a TV guide listing of it or whatever, and it's like of 2005. It's 44 minutes, and then like you have 6 actors, and one of them is you've got literally normal people like Leslie King, Kaichiro Morikawa, and then Ryukishi 07. And then you click on him, and then it just says profession writer. And then he's got 3 credits here. One being for the story of Shrill Cries Reshuffle, Shrill Cries of Summer, and Branching Paths. Oh, and Akihabara Geeks. And Shrill Cries Reshuffle. This looks like Higurashi, kind of, but like live action or some shit. I don't know. I'll send a.
Oh yeah, that's the live action adaptation. Yeah.
Yeah. The translation's just weird. But yeah, I'll check that out later on.
It's a pretty fun watch. I don't really care much about the other people that they showed off, but because it's mainly just like it's talking about the otaku subculture and how the otaku subculture has subcultures within that subculture.
Yeah. Well, of course.
So it's pretty cool. So that's a good point or a good time for you to check that out anyway. But you don't really have much. Did you do the secret staff room for chapter 7?
I just did the ending, the one that you unlock at the end.
Okay, so in Ho Plus you do have the secret staff room if you wanted to go through that at some point too.
Okay, then yeah, I guess I'll do that tomorrow when we start chapter 8. We'll start off with that, and I'll tack that on to the end of this stream for the VOD on YouTube.
That sounds good.
Because I didn't know if I was missing something else.
Oh, sorry, yeah. No, there's not a lot of side content after you, like, once you get through the question arcs, it's all just the after story chat with Ryukishi, and then the secret staff room that every arc has, except for Onikakushi, for some reason.
Right.
One final thing, from me at least. How many hours do you think that you've put into Higurashi thus far? Maybe 50, 60, 70? Total, I mean.
Let's find out.
We can actually calculate that.
Yeah, let's see.
You can just ballpark it. You don't have to give a...
Because let's see, there's 72... There's 72 episodes, if we exclude the post-chapter discussions. The average of each episode, so let's see, if we remove the, 6? Yeah, the 6 post-chapter discussions, so that'll be 68 parts. No, sorry, that'll be, 66 parts of Higurashi that I've played. And all of them average anywhere from 1 to 2.5 hours. So I want to say it's at least 60 hours.
So 60 hours and you're finally gonna get gameplay.
The fuck do you mean? Am I gonna have to do QTEs and shit now?
You'll see.
I don't know.
Is it gonna be Rena-Punch again?
No.
How funny
I guess, yeah, technically you were reading
QTEs.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying how funny would it be if Higurashi actually had QTEs.
God, it would be... Well, actually, you know what? We have an answer for that. It's called Rose Guns Days.
No shot it actually has QTEs.
it has combat, and the combat is basically a QTE.
It's Heavy Rain, but like with Higurashi characters. And you press X to call Hanyu. Hanyu, and she's, you know, a figment of Rika's imagination.
Can you imagine her going through the mall and just yelling, looking for the balloon?
Yeah, it's fucking Rika looking for Satoko, and then she gets kidnapped by her uncle,
and just randomly hearing ow 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 somewhere.
Yeah. Because let's see, because after because I'm looking at the list that you sent me a while back, so we've got Matsuri Bayashi next, and it's the main story cast review, and then Ho Plus with the secret staff. And then there's the optional Higurashi Daybreak Kai patch. So
that's not completed yet.
It's not
and the
done
reason
yet.
I listed it as optional is
it's because of that. Yeah, I just read that.
Well, not even just that, but it's basically like that story got adapted into visual novel form. The arc is in Higurashi Yurei.
Yeah, and that's the next option here. It's like so skip if you play Daybreak. So we haven't, but it's there it is. And then there's Batsukoishi. And then the console arcs, which I'm gonna have to start playing after this. Oh boy. And that'll be Tare Mawashi and Tsukyotoshi. And then the PS doubles with Myotsukishi. And then, oh my god. And then, and then we get to, Kuradashi, and then there's Umineko. Fuck, I'm so close to starting Umineko. No, that's fucking terrifying.
So I would suggest there's a couple different ways that you could do this. Before I can get into details on that, I did some calcs, not counting Minagoroshi because it doesn't have a playlist yet on your channel. You spent just chapters 1 through 6, 108 hours.
Minagoroshi doesn't have it? It should. Unless it's still private, but I can change that now. Let me check. But it should be public. It's gonna change
after this goes up too. So.
Minagoroshi. Oh yeah, it is still fucking private for some fucking reason. It should be public, but there it is. It's public now.
Okay.
Because whenever like I start a series, like so long as episode 1 is there, it's public. But jeez, I think I had that for like Valkyrie Profile or something at some point, where the playlist was still private for some fucking reason.
But as for the play order, so you could stick to like release order purist, which, because you have to ping pong around a whole lot, I honestly wouldn't really recommend that. It's mainly just like if you're really, really committed to seeing like Ryukishi's evolution as a writer, and that's what you're invested in. The other like more reasonable way I would say that would be to read is if you did like series release order. So like start like Higurashi was the first series that released, so you read Higurashi first. And then you read like all the way like through all of it, and then the Umineko would be the next one, so you read all of Umineko, and then you just keep going from there with his other smaller series. The only issue with that is that there is a piece of media that exists outside of it exists. It was included within Umineko arc, but it involves characters from Higurashi, Umineko, Rose Guns days, and Higanbana. So I would say that would be the only one that you would skip until you've at least read those 4 series. But those would be like the 2 main ways I would suggest reading through. Would be like either true release order or series release order. You could also just kind of do whatever you want after Umineko, because it's kind of, most of it is like fragmented, and I mean that in like nothing is ever as long as either of those 2 series. So it's just like Like Higanbana is 2 discs, and it's like I think a total of 20 chapters, but it's all like short stories. They're all like between 30 minutes to 2 hours long. So it's not really a whole lot. Rose Guns Days is 4 seasons.
If I'm honest, I am really interested in Umineko because I know very little about it. As in, I know who Battler is. I don't remember the name of the smug girl that has the red dress or the black dress with like red frills or whatever, that's blonde, who's like smoking a pipe or some shit. I remember, I think there was a character called Lucifer in it. Okay. And then the chick that looks like Rika, who I assume is just a coincidence. That's all I know of like Umineko. But I've always been interested in it because like once I found that it was a Ryukishi, I'm like, oh well, I gotta fucking read it. I gotta like see what the fuck that's about. That, and I really want to read the Hinamizawa Bus Stop. I've been wanting to read that since I fucking found out about it. Like that's what's been on my mind for fucking ages.
So then here's what I would suggest for you if you want to be like a Ryukishi purist. So read Higurashi, which you're almost done with.
Yeah.
Then Higurashi Day. Then, because it's like an honorary chapter 9. It's very short, but it's just like an epilogue to the whole story. Read Higurashi Ho, which is a part of Ho Plus. Ho Plus came out in 2022, technically, and Ho came out in 2014. So there's a little bit of a gap, but Ho Plus on Steam includes both the original Ho and Plus. And then once you've done that, I would say you're probably clear to move on to Umineko. You could save, if you really wanted to, the most interesting console arc that I've read through right now, and I'm not done with them yet, to be fair, but the most interesting is probably Myotsukushi. It's very long, so I can't really recommend it. It's something that I would save, like if you're missing Hinamizawa and you're missing the Higurashi cast in the future.
Long is in like over 20 chapters?
It's about 21 hours long.
Okay.
And that's like the default auto read speed. So I think you tack on about 40% for your streams.
Like a dirty
Myotsukushi?
Myotsukushi is, yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you saying? It's an alternate retelling of chapter 8?
So it is an alternate chapter 8. Basically, I won't give away too much, but obviously, you know, Hanyu has come into the picture, right? And so she's a part of this. It's basically chapter 8, but what if Hanyu didn't exist? So like,
what if Rika took her meds?
Everything up to chapter 7 happens in the exact same way, and then chapter 7 ends, and then, you know, obviously Rika in the real chapter 8, you'll get to read this as you go, but it's like she's working together with everyone, and that includes Hanyu. But in Myotsukushi, the alternate chapter 8, it's like she wakes up and she goes to work together with everyone, but Hanyu's not there. And it's kind of a big deal because she's like a very valuable asset to have.
Peek through the walls. Are there enemies? No? Alright, let's go.
So that's out of all the console arcs I've read, that one has been the most interesting. And the thing that, again, I don't want to say too much, but the way that people have described it and kind of like quote unquote sold the arc is the chapter 8 that we got is a phenomenal ending, but Myotsukushi is more in line with the overall tone. Because
so less
you're
power
right,
friendship shit.
Yeah, you noticed that there was a tone shift in chapter 7 where we've kind of moved towards this power of friendship thing.
Yeah.
And this is more so in line with like some of the earlier arcs and like the earlier like answer arcs like Meyakashi and Sumioroboshi, where it's like things are still dreadful. And there's a lot of despair, but it's another interesting ending.
Gotcha.
But I would say, yeah, if you're really curious about Umineko, highly recommend. yeah, just read through the main PC arcs, which is just Higurashi, Ure, Ho Plus, and then Umineko. Because then you get basically everything Ryukishi had a direct hand in. The console arcs, they are supervised by Ryukishi, but they're not like written by him. So it's basically someone else writes it, he goes, oh yeah, this would make sense, or no, change it, that doesn't make sense, and that's how he ended up with the final product.
Yeah, I think I probably would do all the way up to like Ho Plus, and then maybe skip the console arcs for a little bit, and then maybe start Umineko, mainly because I kind of want to read Umineko. And maybe once I'm done with, where is it? The questions arc for Umineko. Where is it? Yeah, once I'm done with the banquet, question mark, I can go back to, what is it? One of the console arcs.
Oh wait, so hold on. Banquet is not the final Umineko arc. This is kind of what I was talking about with like ping-ponging around.
Okay, so, then I finished the answers arc of Umineko, and then I'll go back to like the questions arc. Oh, sorry, the console arc for Higurashi.
Yeah, I would say if you finish up Umineko, now Umineko also has fan disc, kind of like how Higurashi does. That's no, they're a lot shorter. It's Tsubasa, Hane, and Saku.
Yeah.
And they are unlike. It's weird. So it's like with the Higurashi stuff, all of that was material that Ryukishi wrote for games specifically. So like there's the epilogue in Rei, there's the after party for Miyakashi, there's the story of Daybreak, and then there is a special chapter he wrote for Ho, and then a special chapter he wrote for Ho Plus, and you know there's things that he wrote for that. All of the stuff in Tsubasa, Hane, and Saku are literally like tiny print material things that he would sell at his Comiket booths. And I've got one of them. The book is called Our Confession, and it's a very thin, small, short book, but it's like that kind of stuff. It's like short stories, so it's stuff that you can just breeze right through. So I would say, kind of like if you're treating Higurashi this way, where you're doing the main story and then the fan discs, do the same thing with Umineko, just to read those and check them out.
Yeah.
And then that way you can fully go back into basically whatever you want. There's the console arcs. There's his other stories.
The requirements for Umineko, like the questions arc, and it's like, oh, you need a Pentium 3 to run this shit. I'm like, oh no. I don't have one of those. I've got a Ryzen 7. Oh, will that be enough?
Whatever shall I do?
Yeah, actually, if you guys can hold on for like 30 seconds, I'm gonna grab one off the shelf and see what the box art says.
Okay, let's start counting. 1, 2. Oh god.
No, keep going.
No, no, but I just really want to get to Hinamizawa bus stop, like so fucking badly, just because I love the fucking designs for that, which I think I've shown on stream before. But the first thing I type in Hinamizawa, the first thing I get is Hinamizawa syndrome. Higurashi when they cry, season 2, episode 12. Oh my god. This again, like just the art style for it looks so fucking cool. That's like, oh man, I want to see who these characters are, and I want to see what their little interactions are. I want to see tall Rika talk to short, like green-haired or like puke-haired like Mion.
What I think is interesting, so that's actually the one that I think the one that you're talking about is not this one that I'm sending, but the one with the actual like character designs. That one isn't like alternate updated version that was specifically released for the console version. And thankfully it has been backported from 07th mod. The original version, because there was no like art for this story, it uses these like silhouettes of the existing character sprites to kind of, it's Peon.
Yeah, yeah, we get the peon arc.
Finally.
But there are enough differences that I would suggest, like, again, it's entirely up to you, but
I'd probably read them with both arts.
The original version first, and then
Yeah.
in the future, whenever you're ready to, checking out the updated version, so you can kind of get like see what was changed.
Yeah, I would still read it with the original Ryukishi art, with the
silhouettes.
the silhouettes, because like that's the art for the current version of it, and then we've got this, which was the original design, which again you've got, you know, silhouette of Mion / Shio, and then silhouette of Rena. And then with the updated takes, it's like, well, here's Rika if Rika was like tall. And here's Peon making her debut.
So I have some fantastic news. I just sent a picture to our chat, but it looks like it was only requiring a Pentium 3 because it's the version on Steam is higher resolution. The original version only needs a Pentium 2.
Oh, no way. Oh, but it requires Windows XP. Fuck. And I don't have 600 megabytes in my hard drive. I've got 10 terabytes. That's not enough.
Do you have 128 megabytes of RAM?
That's quite a lot.
I do not. I don't have 128 megabytes of RAM. I have
also love
64
how
gigs. That's too
They
much.
found out.
And I
They
don't run.
specifically mentioned that you need a direct sound capable sound card.
I was about to say, I don't have that. And I don't have DirectX 8. I haven't had that for like 20 years. that CD is old enough to vote.
Yeah, probably right.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Actually, yes. Just barely, but yes.
Jeez.
I think no. Actually, I think it's literally. Hold on. I think it's like, if not today, then this week.
Be old enough to vote.
Good bit.
You can get drafted to war. To go to war.
No.
With all the Zoomers.
Oh my god, it's today. Well, it's okay. I'm on Japan time on my system locale. It's the 17th. It turns 18 tomorrow.
No, it's already tomorrow in Japan. It is then. It is time. It is old enough to vote. Happy birthday.
Happy 18th birthday, Minako.
Happy 18th birthday, Minako. Yeah, 준비 오메데토. Yeah, punch. Is that fucking shield? Is that like a grandpa's shield? The fuck is that?
Huh?
Next to the portrait on the right. It's like shield, but like what if shield was like a grandpa? Or old and decrepit?
Old?
Are you talking about the one in like the bottom center?
This thing.
Oh.
The crusty shield.
I don't mind telling you the name because it's literally in the opening, but that's Kanon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I kind of remember that character. Because again, like Umineko has a fucking fighting game. Of all things. Doesn't she have like crosses or some shit? Or I forget.
He has a sword on his
the sword arm. Or sword
I wouldn't
hand.
look at too much of the fighting game art.
No, but I remember him because I used to do a lot of sprite animations way back in the day, and I remember using some of his sprites.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and I remember. But yeah, I can't really look much into that fighting game. I'll probably play it on stream eventually when we get through Umineko.
I think did I not list it in the play order? Because if not, I will. I'll update that.
But I don't remember the name of it, so I don't want to look it up.
For what it's worth, it's called Ogon Muso in Japanese, and it's in English it's Umineko Golden Fantasia.
Oh yeah, it's on my wish list. It's been there for like a while. I'm like, oh, I remember this game. I should probably look it up. I should probably like buy it at some point. because I recognize the blonde chick or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, this chick, the chick with the pipe. I remember who she is. She's from when I was like animating, back in the day. I should probably buy this game at some point. And then like you brought up Umineko, and I'm like, oh, that's what it was called. Oh, it's part of this shit. Oh, okay.
If that's canon, where?
By the way, telling you this in advance, so because you are at this point you do have to get through chapter 8, but you're I would consider you fairly close to starting Umineko, especially if you're going down the route of sticking to like the main PC releases. The mod, and I can note this down for too. The mod is still a little primitive in the sense that you have to like fully commit to one art style. It's not like with Higurashi where you could like switch on the fly. But even knowing that, there are opening movies in Umineko, and they were there originally, so they're not gonna. I wouldn't worry. Like with the Higurashi ones, they definitely spoil things. The Umineko ones were crafted specifically for each release, so you can fully enjoy watching those.
I can finally watch the. I'm gonna have to actually go back through all my part 1s for all of the once I'm done with the series, and then I'll finally be able to watch the Higurashi openings.
You could probably watch them now that you know who the culprit is.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about spoilers anymore.
There are, I think, 2 or 3 openings that show Takano in her military outfit, which is crazy. That would
have immediately fucking spoiled everything. Holy shit! What the fuck were they thinking?
Military outfit. I would watch the openings every single time, and I don't recall that.
So it's in. Here I have the exact ones. I think they might be console arc exclusive ones. So. You may not have seen them just by watching the main story arcs, but they're definitely.
Imagine your friend is you're some dude in Japan in the year 2008. Your friend is like, oh, dude, I've been reading this fucking visual novel called Higurashi. It's really good. You should read it sometime. He's like, I'll see if I can find a copy of it. Bro goes to Akihabara. He goes to he goes to a game shop. He finds a copy of it for the PS2. He's like, hey, is this the first part of Higurashi? And they're like, yeah, it's the first part. Okay, cool. Thanks. I'm going to buy it. And then he fucking buys it. And then he sees the opening. And then it cuts at some point to Takano in her Waffen SS uniform. And he's like, who the fuck is this chick? Why the fuck is she in a uniform? What's going on? And then you get through the entire arc and you're like, wait, what the fuck? And it's spoiled it all the way at the beginning. You're like, wait, Takano was the evil bitch this whole time? you kind of already have that shit cemented in the back of your mind because this shit spoiled it. Oh my god, dude, that immediately fucking spoils it.
So this one's even worse. So basically, to give some context, I don't know if you want. You can probably show it on stream.
Yeah, I will.
To give some context, this opening is a semi-new opening. I think it came out in about 2023 or 2024. There was DLC for the Switch version of Higurashi called Higurashi Origin. And this DLC essentially removed all the console elements and allowed you to play with 1, original art, and 2, original novel style, with no choices, no nothing. Just you read through the game and that's it. So it's really cool for preserving, that style of game. The only new thing that they added was they added an opening movie. This plays before Onikakushi.
Oh, fuck you. I'm gonna have to find Ryukishi's address. I'm gonna have to write him a strongly worded letter. And be like, hey, can you kill whoever the fuck, can you demon away whoever the fuck designed this shit, whoever was the director of this game, can you fucking send the mountain dogs on them, because who the fuck thought this would be a good idea? And Ryukishi replies shit. Ryukishi replies shit, actually I signed off on that.
The second one is also I guess another console art exclusive opening, but it also very briefly shows Takano. Here is one. Maybe? Oh no. This isn't the one I was thinking of. I'll have to find it, but I know there's at least she gets shown in her outfit, and it's before the end of the game, so that's always nice.
It's fucking absurd. Like, legit, just Titanic spoilers. God damn, fuck that, dude. That's why, shit, I think the stream keeps crashing, which is weird, but, yeah, no, I mean, like, we're back, like, it just flickers on and off, but I think it might just be Restream being a bitch, because it's happening on Kick as well, on both Kick and Twitch, but yeah, I mean, if you're watching this, you just have to, reload, I guess. But, yeah, no, I fucking hate when games do this sort of shit. That's why I never watch, like, video game openings. Like, anytime I start a new game, I just skip the opening, and I don't watch it till the end, because it's probably going to spoil everything. There's very few games that don't, but most titles, most RPGs, most whatever, will spoil all this shit. If the characters are not shown in the like, cover art, they're gonna get spoiled no matter what, in the opening. Because that's just, like, what they fucking do.
Even worse, so I found the other one that I was thinking of, and it's yeah, it's not even her sprite, it's the full CG.
Yeah, it's the CG of Takano from the yeah, like at the end of the last chapter. So because I was trying to think of one, it's like if you played Chrono Trigger on the SNES, the front box art just has Chrono. It's got the frog dude, and it's got the princess or whatever. I forget their names. But all those characters, you find them at the very start of the game, so it's not really much of a spoiler. If you watch the movie, I believe the opening movie for the PS1 version, which was like an anime opening, they show you everyone. Like, they spoil all the characters that show up. Like, literally all of them. They have their own, like, little scenes, which are really cool if you're a fan of the series. Like, oh yeah, that's fucking awesome. But if you're playing this for the first time, you're like, oh man, they just spoiled fucking everything. There's time travel in this?
But yeah, just saying all that to say, thankfully the Umineko ones are handcrafted for the specific arcs that they were released in. There's one that gets used for 1, 2, and 3. There's one for 4. There's one for 5 and 6, and then there's finally one for 7 and 8. And they do a good job of, like, they show you some things, but it's never like it's never like, I feel, a major spoiler like with the Takano outfit. And 2, the things that are shown are not to reveal things to you. It's to, like, get you hyped up about the mystery, like, oh, what on earth is going on here? So they're definitely, not only are they safe to watch, I feel, but they are recommended to watch, at least from my perspective.
I still have no idea what Umineko's about. For all I know, it's some fucking murder mystery that happens because a bunch of people were invited to some mansion, and then it just so happens that there's a bunch of occult shit, and then it's just them trying to figure out who the fuck is the actual, like, cult worshiper that brought everyone else here for the huge sacrifice that's probably gonna happen at the end, and that they all have to fucking stop it because the devil's gonna be involved in some point. That's my guess, because it all takes place in, like, medieval London or something stupid. Again,
from what I know,
I've never played the game. I know nothing of it. But that's my guess from... I don't even know if it's a murder mystery. For all I know, it's not.
From what I've been made aware and my own research into Mineko, the whole thing is actually just a metaphor. It's supposed to portray the imagination and thoughts of fish in a pet store.
It's true.
Of course, yeah.
He figured it out.
Yeah. And that's emphasized in one of Ryukishi's, like, latest works called Metaphor Refantasio. He actually collaborated with Atlas to work on that RPG. It's actually part of the Higurashi franchise, if you never knew that.
God, no. Please.
Yeah, which then directly links it to Persona 4, actually. Because that's when they really busted out the power of friendship bullshit.
There are cicadas in that small rural town.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a murder that happens. There's a schizophrenic channel There's a fucked up police officer. You know, there's like everything's there.
So I know that we've gotten wildly off topic, but the last thing I'll say about Umineko is I've got 2 book recommendations, but I'm gonna recommend them at different points when you've gotten through Umineko. So the first one will be after the first one's after episode 1, and the second one's after episode 4.
How long are they? Are they light novels?
One of them is fairly short. It's a small fictional novel. The other one is I wouldn't say that it's particularly long in the sense of like compared to Umineko. It's about the length of one Umineko arc, or like one Higurashi arc, by word count.
Fuck.
And you don't have to read them, of course, but it's something to consider as you go through.
Like if I'm gonna read, I don't think I'll read that on stream. I think that's probably something that I'm gonna have to like read on my own at that point. Because like I wouldn't mind doing content like that, or like reading, for example, manga on stream and stuff like that. I can definitely do it like on Kick. I can't do it on Twitch. Twitch will get mad. Kick will not give a fuck. So like if anything, like we could even do the Higurashi like watch alongs on Kick, and that'd be quite something, because I know they definitely will not care. We can have that there.
Yeah, we have God, I don't want to talk about it yet because it's not quite ready, but I am prepping something for April Fool's Day 2026, and it's something that we should do a watch along on Kick probably.
Let's see. April 1st is it's on a Wednesday. We could try.
Hey, we don't have to do it on that day, but have I talked about it here already?
Well, not in stream or venue, but
okay.
In the chat.
I don't believe you have, or at least I don't remember. But yeah, we can definitely, like, if we want to do watch along stuff, we can definitely do it there.
Okay.
But yeah, overall, so far with chapter 7, it was pretty good. It was pretty good overall. I'm glad, like, literally that me just sitting down for like 10 minutes and being like, okay, let's actually think about stuff, and then me having to like have a brain blast trying to remember literally everything else while like, you know, trying to remember literally a year's worth of content and trying to piece shit together. I don't know, I think I did pretty well. Kind of just having like what the final mystery was going to be, at least for chapter 7. I still don't know how they're going to resolve this. I still don't know what God's voice is supposed to be, or like that person that was talking about, like, what would he actually do this in their timeline? I don't fucking know. I haven't seen, or I haven't paid attention to this. We don't know what's going to happen. Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah. We could definitely do that. Yeah.
I had brought that up just as a joke initially, but then I actually learned how to make the thing that I need to make for that project. Yeah,
definitely. That'd be pretty funny to do. I can probably include the audio or just have the audio for YouTube or something. But anyway, we'll start chapter 8 tomorrow. We'll do the secret, what is it, showroom, whatever, from Ho Plus for chapter 7. I'll tack it on to the end of this VOD. So if you're watching this on YouTube later, you'll probably see that like shortly. It's probably going to be like 5-10 minutes at most. And then the next part you'll see will be Higurashi chapter 8, which chapter 8 once again is going to be Matsuri Bayashi, which has Takano for the fucking icon for the program, which is okay. I mean, why not, right? Not Tomitake, not Mayor Kimiyoshi, not fucking the parasite inside of Rena's head. It has to be Takano.
The original box art for chapter 8 is actually like gorgeous.
It does look nice, actually. Here, I'll put it up on screen. It's very... It has charm.
Aura.
It's very summery.
It's just really nice because it's almost like Rena. it's like implied that she's looking at a brighter future, right? Because it's like sunny sky.
It bugs me that her hand that her fucking hand is wrong, but I'll try to look past that.
Yeah, her thumb's on the wrong side, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll try to ignore that.
Unless she has like an upright fist.
No. You can see the thumb, the little webbing or whatever.
Oh yeah, on the other side.
I assumed Ryukishi was gonna draw her facing us first, and then he changed his mind and then just didn't change it. He just didn't change the fist.
P4
Yeah, P4 He went through the multiple timelines to kind of get to this point where his novel actually succeeded.
Oh, that's not her thumb at all. Sorry, I just found a more zoomed out version. It's her pinky.
Oh.
Oh my god.
It'll work.
I mean, sure, why not?
Well, now the scale is way off, I think. With the ribbon and the... Is it a sundress or a dress or something?
God, this looks fucking terrible.
It looks a little bit strange.
But I am a big fan of it. They actually, this was one of the bonuses that was included with the physical copy of Ho Plus was a like a crystal, one of those like crystal art pieces with this as the inside.
Yeah, it's a paperweight, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'll hold on. There, I fixed it. Oh wait. There we go. Now it's fixed. This is just infinitely better. Sorry, Ryukishi.
How do you think?
But there we go.
Who do you really think died that day?
Who really died that day? Everybody fucking died that day. Everybody fucking died that day.
She got away scot-free.
Yeah. But either way,
well,
I think this is a good stopping point. We've been going for about 2 hours. It's pretty short. I don't think there was much to discuss in this one except just final thoughts overall, because it's not like one of the older chapters where it's like, oh, who really died that day and who came back.
There's really only. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying Takano came back, obviously.
Yeah,
well, yeah, exactly.
Came back.
She died that day and came back at the same time.
It's true. But yeah, no, there's really only one thing you can theorize on, and we covered it pretty quickly. It's, what is Takano's why, and you have a pretty good theory for that, and just the last thing that you're gonna get to learn in the final chapter.
Yeah, for all I know, this is all like Satoshi's like mind. Like he's fucking got like this fucking like helmet strapped to his head, and it's got a bunch of like tubes and wires connected to this giant like tank or something, or to a computer, and he's simulating all these possible outcomes. And that's what he's really been used for. But yeah, we'll see what fucking happens. But either way, yeah, I think this is a good stopping point for today, for the the post chapter discussion. Like I said, tomorrow we continue with more Higurashi. But yeah, let's get ready to wrap things up for today.
Bye.
So any final words before we leave?
I'll let Aru go first.
Oh, you can't put that pressure on me.
I mean, if you don't... Oh, go ahead.
Read Tsukihime.
I was gonna joke and say like, oh yeah, so once we're done with Higurashi, you can finally start Type Moon.
There you go.
You can finally start Fate.
Yeah, no, I'm never touching Fate. Like, gun to my head, you cannot force me or make me or convince me to read Fate.
Don't believe what you hear online. Fate is easy to get into, and people like Giga or Twitter are just
don't care. I'm not gonna read Fate. I'm not gonna fucking read Fate. I don't care about the fucking like holy war with the what the fuck was it called, with the Holy Grail.
Holy Grail.
I don't care about them fucking like fighting each other just so they could get like whatever fucking stupid wish they want granted and the whole world gets reset or some shit like that. Like, I don't give a fuck. Congrats, you have femboy like King Arthur. Congrats. I don't care about Pendragon. I gotta read more about Higurashi and Umineko.
Yeah, that's, I mean, Tsukihime, out of all the Type
Tsukihime's Moon different anyway.
Yeah, out of all the Type Moon works, Tsukihime would be the one I'd recommend. Especially because it's like, it's not the first thing Nasu wrote, but it's like the first like work that he published. Like big work anyway.
Yeah, like I would read Tsukihime for sure.
One of the
I'm not gonna read Fate ever.
Visual novels ever made, which is the Only Night.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, that's the one that I really want to get to. It's got my favorite character in it.
Aoko Awazaki.
Yeah, Aoko. I've loved her design since like 2007 or whatever. I'm like, oh man, there's not that many redheads in anime. And then that's it. That's all I needed.
As far as
woman.
True. Last words for me. This has been a really great journey. I've been enjoying this every step of the way. When I was reading Higurashi, I was talking with Nadia about it the whole time, and being on the flip side of that position has been really, really gratifying. And I think that what I really believe Ryukishi when he says that one of the best parts of reading his stories is getting to talk with your friends about it, because I feel like I'm still getting things out of Higurashi, even though I'm like, you know, quote unquote finished with it. And so this has been really fun. I hope that this series was inspired by another YouTuber that I watch. Like I proposed this idea to Razor. It was like, hey, I really like the way this guy does this. We should probably do something similar because it'd be fun. And that guy promised he would get into Umineko, and he never has. So I don't think he ever will. So I hope that if you know, when you do get around to Umineko, I hope you continue this for that series as well.
Yeah, we will. We get to sweep up that market of all the hungering Umineko fans that want a post-chapter discussion and want someone's fresh perspective on it. And we'll definitely call that dude out. We'll be like, hey, wasn't this guy supposed to start it? I've already seen all of his Higurashi like post-chapter discussions, and he never got to Umineko. I guess I gotta do it. And then we do that after the first chapter or whatever.
And I guess last thing, since Aru got his piece in, I'll say read Key visual novels, because Key is a great studio.
Read Planetarian. It's a very short novel that's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, Planetarian, straight up. Razor, obviously, like, your schedule is full, so don't worry about it immediately, but it's like a 2.5 to 3 hour visual novel, and it's kinetic, so there's no choices.
Interesting. I mean, I'll consider it.
It will rip your heart out and make you eat it.
Ironically enough, like, I was considering reading well, hold on, let me find it real quick. Otogiri Soul for the Super Nintendo.
That's also a good read.
Because I was watching a video on it earlier, and then it's like, oh, actually, it's got like all of these fucking alternate paths. I'm like, huh, okay. Because like the way that visual novel worked, or yeah, it's a sound novel back then. That's what they were called. It's like you have one of 3 possible starting scenarios, and then after you go through it, you can start the novel again, and it might have one of the other paths, and then after you keep going through the novel enough times, you'll unlock different starting points, and I believe there's like up to 10 different starting points. And then I saw like an image of a flowchart from that game series, and it's titanic. It is super fucking like each story that you go through, each quote unquote loop is relatively short. You can get through it in like an hour or 2, but there's so many depending on what fucking choices you go through. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like other VNs where I don't want to get too deep into this, but it's not like route based where you make a couple decisions and then you're on the A route or you're on the B route. It's such a weird...
here's a new option that just opens up. Do you want to take it? And if you do, you can still go back to the main route, quote unquote.
Yep. And what's so funny to me is, so Otogiriso was more or less an experiment.
Yeah.
At least in terms of like production. Kamaitachi no Yoru, the game that they followed up Otogiriso with, is genuinely a behemoth. It's again, like, you can probably read through the game in like 40 minutes. Like, maybe a little less if you're a slow reader, but or maybe a little more if you're a slow reader. But it's so short. But then you look at the ending list, and there
it's like 70.
No, genuinely, it's like 10 times the amount of endings that Otogiriso has.
Oh my god.
It's absurd. And a lot of them are really like, it's kind of like, oh god, I don't really know how to describe it, but it's basically like any funny or interesting idea that the writers had.
They implemented it?
They shoved it in somewhere. Like, obviously, like, okay, what if fruit became sentient and the protagonist was able to talk to them? It doesn't make sense in the narrative, but there's an ending for that, you know?
Yeah, because they do stuff like that in Otogiriso as well. Like without spoiling it, but yeah, one of the story arcs is like, you find out something about the female protagonist's family, and it just so happens that everyone in her family is this specific thing, and she happens to be one as well, and it gets really fucking stupid. Or like, what if her brother was became crippled when he was a kid, and then he just really wanted to be a fish. It's shit like that. But I assume in that sequel, in that follow-up game, it becomes even stupider. But either way, I might do a one-off of Otogiriso on Halloween or something, like close to that date. If I'm not doing Silent Hill F by that point still, I might just do a one-off of it.
Yeah, you could easily finish it in one stream, and I would recommend just doing your first playthrough blind and not really worrying about which ending you get.
Yeah. I was just gonna go with like whatever seems right, or like whatever I would do for like whatever I end up getting for my starting point, and then just see what happens. But yeah, like it seems like a very relatively short like novel overall. So that's probably something we can definitely cover on the channel later on, around close to Halloween. I might take a break from like Silent Hill F or something, if I'm still playing it by then, which I probably would be, because Silent Hill F, when's that coming out? September?
Did you get you're going to be playing on PC, right?
Yeah.
Did you get the digital deluxe version?
God, no.
Okay, I was going to say, so it actually went on sale. I don't know if it's still on sale. If you did, it unlocks 3 days earlier.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be playing SRW and reading Higurashi by then.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, because like SRWY comes out on the 27th, which is going to be on a Wednesday, so that's, in 2 weeks, and that's when we're going to be doing the 24-hour stream. And then fucking Silent Hill F comes out on September 24th, so literally a month afterwards. So I've got a month to finish chapter 8, basically, and I'm going to try to get it done beforehand, because if not, I'm going to stop Higurashi and I'm starting Silent Hill F no matter what, because that should not take too long, and that's definitely a game I'm really interested in. I don't know anything about it. All I know is just the very bare bones of like, hey, it takes place in this fucking weird Japanese town. The protagonist looks like a normal Asian woman. It's like the most realistic looking normal Asian woman we've ever gotten in a video game. And then there's what's the name of the one of the characters is like something like Satoko Higurashi or some shit.
So if you want to finish Matsuri Bayashi beforehand, I would consider giving Higurashi an extra day on your schedule. So whether that's using one of your other stream days for Higurashi or just introducing a new day,
How many chapters is it?
I would also. It's. I wouldn't look it up. I will try to. I'll do my best to like compile that information for you.
Sure.
The other thing I would recommend is there's a point where I would recommend using a guide if you don't feel confident, because there is. You'll know it when you see it. There's something that you have to do, and if you get it right the first time, well, if you get it right, period, you get an extra scene at the end, like an extra epilogue scene. And so I would recommend using a guide for that section. So that's as much as I want to say right, but
right. This chapter has gameplay, quote unquote.
Yeah. So I would say, if you can, try to give a little bit more time to Higurashi. I definitely can, because you have a little over a month before the game comes out.
Yeah.
If it's like, it's about 20 hours long. If you can do, like, you usually do like what, 2.5 hours per stream.
Because right now there's 11 days that I have before Silent Hill F comes out.
Okay.
Or 11 sessions for Higurashi. So if each of them is 2 hours, then definitely I can finish it.
Do it, yeah. All right, then yeah, I'll get some information together. Sure, that's possible, and then I'll share it here.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it. Because I definitely want to like see like something new from like going from Ryukishi's like first major work to his latest major work would be quite incredible. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of like maybe references to other shit that I would have missed. But I bet there's probably gonna be something like, I don't know. She's probably gonna talk to one of the other characters and be like, "Oh man, this is quite the golden fantasia," and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna point at the screen and be like, "Oh, I know what that is."
You're gonna be Leonardo.
Yeah, she's gonna be walking into town or like riding into this like abandoned village or whatever on her bike, and be like, "Oh man, the Higurashi, I fucking hate when they cry." We're gonna pass like she's gonna pass a bus stop and it's gonna have like that image of Satoko from like that image that I sent a bit ago that I had on stream for a little while. This one, you're gonna have Satoko and there's gonna be a poster of Satoko in the background just like that.
You're gonna meet a character whose name's something like Furudo Erika or something.
Yeah. Yeah. She's gonna be visiting Hinamizaville. That's the name of the town.
What was that, Aru?
No, I was just laughing at Hinamizaville.
Yeah, true.
If this is literally just Silent Hill Higurashi, that's gonna be so fucking funny.
Kind of is, I think.
From everything I've seen so far, yeah.
I mean, what if all the events that are described in like as a joke, as a horror, like what if this is Takano's wet dream? Like that's what I assume it's possibly gonna be. It's because like I assume they're gonna like blend in like Fatal Frame shit. Like Fatal Frame is very, very, very Japanese with its like just theme, its horror and everything, where like you fight everything with a camera, but like there's usually some village in the mountains, there's some supernatural element, there's some sort of ritual that goes wrong, and then that causes all the ghosts to kind of like stick around. So I assume here it's like there's some village in the fucking mountains, it's been abandoned because there was a great disaster in that fucking mountain. You go visit it and you start seeing flashbacks of as you go back in time or you go into the other world, it's you visiting possibly another shard, and all of a sudden you see someone getting gutted while they're being held down and kept alive, and their whole organs are being like torn out individually in a ritual, and then that's when I'm gonna be Leonardo. I'm gonna be pointing at the screen and I'll be like, this is they're getting Watanaga Sheet right now. So we'll see what happens. Again, I don't know. I haven't fucking seen anything from Silent Hill F besides just like the initial trailer, and I was like, okay, I gotta stop watching this. I'm not gonna get spoiled. But either way, yeah, I think this will be a good stopping point. Let me swap on over to the ending screen. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the call for a bit, and then yeah, we'll wrap up the stream for today.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start the secret staff room for Minagoroshi. So it should be pretty short, but here goes. Oh, 7th expansion. Oh, 7th expansion, Emergency Manual 1. If spontaneous eccentric behavior is detected within staff, then the head of the circle must take rapid control of the situation before the staff commits abnormal acts in public. However, great care must be placed on maintaining secrecy. Emergency Manual Appendix 9 FAQ. Question. If Ryukishi 07 screams out and shouts, "Do you know Raiden? You seem confident in your martial arts, but can you withstand my ultimate technique?" Or something similar, I presume the appropriate response is to hit him in the back of the head with a heel kick, but can each individual make that call? Answer, yes, it is as you surmised. Question. If Yatasakura begins farming Ninetales on the 5th floor of the Payon dungeon, the moment I take my eyes off of him, I believe we should immediately administer disciplinary action, but is it okay for me to load up my blacksmith as well and provide said discipline via DM? Answer. It is inappropriate to provide discipline via online games. Question. When BT discovers a typo, hearing all the staff repeat off that typo causes considerable decline in morale. So, can Ryukishi 07 prohibit this? It is very humiliating having everyone murder Answer. All will be well when you turn that humiliation into pleasure. Okay. Question. Apparently, Tokika's got his aura recently, but I'm sure 2 million EXP per hour from stings is impossible. He has to be cheating or using a bot, so I reported him to the admins, but they don't do anything regardless of how often I report him. Was it designed that way? Answer, yes, it is as you surmised. Question. Apparently, Ektarina started playing Panya recently, but she keeps saying nonsense like Panya or I screwed up the tombak. But should I open my own Panya account to gain better understanding? She also said something about lacking the PP to buy Ku's gymnastic set. Answer, stop complaining and get to work. Question, in the JSF book, books that Ai-san brought us to use as reference material for the script, there are dangerous red stamps like taking off premises prohibited or be sure to destroy, but is it safe to use these documents? Answer, I'm just a good-intentioned outsider. Nipa. Question, while writing the Minagoroshi chapter, Ryukishi 07 bought many different games, but will they actually contribute to the script? Answer, Sengoku Basara introduces the strength of unified groups, Beatdown introduces the importance of gathering allies, Shadow of the Colossus introduces the courage to fight against ginormous enemies, Brothers in Arms introduces how to fight alongside allies, and Shinobi the Way of the Ninja teaches that it's not always smart to agitate things, along with very important and powerful blue flame that carries matter out very quietly. Carries matters out. Man, that was one of the most fun ninja games I've played. Setting up stealth landmines in advance along the enemy's path and using gunpowder and grenades specialized in knockout to launch a surprise attack from the flank of an ox cart guarded by the heavily armored Taraba was the first time I felt such thrills and excitement in an FPS. Man, silent killing everyone from behind for a whole procession in charge of delivering important papers was intense. I had to silence all seven under 10 seconds without anyone noticing, including the guards. That was truly being a shinobi. I definitely recommend it to those who prefer sniping over assault and FPS, or those who prefer an Assassin's Creed over Medal of Honor. I'll also admit it contributed to a lot to the writing of the Minagoroshi chapter. Wait, what? What am I doing? Okay. Hello, this is Ryukishi 07. Man, the final hell lasted a long time this time around. Thanks for your hard work, everyone. Though, as I'm typing this, we're right in the final stages. All I can hear are the groans of men thoroughly exhausted by this hell. Hello, this is Yatazakura. If we actually manage to get this chapter out in time for Winter Cat, then that's all thanks to us. Yukishi works too slow. Hello, this is BT. If I wasn't keeping an eye out, Higurashi would be in terrible shape. To all the staff here, thank you very much for always doing this. Higurashi is safely going public thanks to all of you. Thanks to everyone, we were able to safely deliver Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 7. This is all thanks to everyone who supported us. You have the heartfelt gratitude of us all you have the heartfelt gratitude of all of us on staff at 07th Expansion. There's only one chapter of Higurashi When They Cry left, just the Matsuribayashi chapter. We plan to do our best to make it worth reading as the final tie-off for this long story. So please, we hope you'll stick with us until the end of this tale. And thank you very much for reading through this disgraceful behind-the-scenes staff room. We hope you'll continue to support us in the future. 07th Expansion. Well, that was really cute. So, that's the staff room for Minagoroshi. So, since I was going to tack this on to the post-chapter discussion, if you are watching on YouTube, thanks so much for joining us. And hopefully, you enjoy Matsuribayashi when that starts going up.